Art Collection podcast. We're checking in, and yeah, first of all we're gonna talk about the top 5 under 30 rappers, and I'm gonna say them. I'm gonna say why I've put them at this point. The first guy I put is Dave, and obviously I put him up top because he's released serious albums. Obviously, certain people don't like him because he comes with that serious talk, but I believe he's a deeper one. Like if you deep in what you're saying, he's going in. So his last album was All Alone in This Together, and he's had like Verdanks on that, which is like a reference to COD for my COD players. And then he's had his song with Stormzy, Clash, which was like a slice in to Chip. Well, obviously it's a sly one, it's not a straight one. And he's had obviously like a song with Wizkid, who's my other favourite artist. So yeah, like definitely put Dave up there. And then my second, I've already mentioned him, he's featured on Clash with Dave, Stormzy. A lot of people see him as the king of this thing at the moment, representing Croydon, obviously, / Fulton Heath. I feel like he comes with that presence in it. Like he's obviously 6'5", as he says in Big for Your Boots, size 12 as well, big man and that. I've seen him live like maybe 2-3 times, 2015, 2016, and like every time he's come with that fire still. So I have to give it to him. And number 3. Obviously, I have to say one of the GOATs, like my favourite artist in the UK at the moment is J Hus. Obviously, he's been missing for a couple of years, but I'll say in 2020, like his Conspiracy album's probably my favourite album of that year. Obviously, he's got his sister on it. He's got Burna Boy on it. He's got Coffee on it. So yeah, he's got loads of Caribbean flavours on it, and I feel like that was my album of 2020. And then in terms of the last 2, I'll say Run From The Left is Lancey Foe. He's more of an alternative artist, I'll say, more in the Young Thug lane. But I'll say that like yeah, he brings that sauce. Like I'll say an album to check out for him is Friend or Foe, which has got like one of my favourite songs on is Dream. And yeah, obviously like Skepta's in the cameo, like he's clicked up with Skepta, like he's one of the coldest still. So I'll give him that. In terms of my last of the under 30s, I'll give it to Novelist, innit? He's repping my ends, Blueborough, Lewisham. Like he's more in the grime lane, and I'll say like he's cold, innit? Like he's more been on the underground flex, but he's still been hitting, like every song bangs. In 2020 he released 4 projects as well. He couple other projects, but it's like he's been going sick. And then he released like a short EP this year called Mercy, had bare remixes on it, but check that one, like it's lit still. Okay, so now we go to the over 30s, we go to the OGs at the scene. The first person I'll give it to is Skepta, who's like my favourite artist, obviously. Like obviously I got family in the building, Alima Dan, like obviously I'm mixed Nigerian, innit, so Skepta's half Igbo, I'm like an 8th Igbo or something like that, so we're cousins, innit? But yeah, he's lit. Like he's obviously more on merch now, more on like products, because he's quote unquote said he retired from music, but he's cold. Every song he releases is a banger. Like he's more on house now, but I'll say like if you wanna know Skepta, check out his latest album called Ignorance is Bliss. That's got bare bangers on there. Like I'll say my favourite off that is Grease Mode, that like proper shows him in his essence. In terms of my second artist off of the over 30s, I gotta give it to Gets, innit? Like Gets has been like going hard for like 20 years. One girl in secondary school said he looked like me, sorry, but yeah, I rebuke that. But he's still lit. He's lit. Like he's like at first I didn't really get it because he spits very fast, and obviously he's from Plaster, innit? But I'll say over the last couple albums he's matured, and I'll say like if there was one album I'll say you gotta check from him, it's Ghetto Gospel. Like that's where he bleeds out his hearts. Obviously, I think that's got Artillery. If not, it's the album before. But I feel like Artillery is like him at his highest mode. Like he's going in, like he ain't holding no prisoners. And in terms of my third artist for over 30s, I'll give it to Kano, innit? Drawing back to Gets, a lot of people said Gets that sounded like Kano when he first started, but obviously like they're from the same ends, Plaster, like East London. Kano's one of the GOATs. Like if I was saying to check out any tune from him, I'll say Flow of the Year with JME, who's another like stalwart of the grime scene. But yeah, that's a serious banger. In terms of third artists, you all know this guy. He's like quote unquote the godfather of grime. But Wiley, innit? Like obviously he's got into bare beef, got stabbed like 14 times. Like mad guy. But I'll say he's, even through all the adversity he's gone through, he's still been going in. And I'll say from him, check out Why Do You Call It Garage, which is like one of his early ones from like 03, 04. And that was in between garage and grime, like in between them genres. Like them times no one knew what it was, innit? They were like, oh, is it grime, is it garage, innit? And he kind of encapsulated it with that song, innit? He was like, oh, no, like, no, it was garage, but now it's grime, innit? So I'll definitely put Wiley up there. And then the last person I'll put is Rich 32, innit? Like, I feel like he's a wordsmith. So now he's actually an A&R at 1020 Def Jam. And he executively produced Avelina's project, which came out maybe like a couple weeks ago. But he's, in terms of wordsmiths, he's one of the coldest in the UK. Like, cold. And I'll say for him, check out Retrospective. That's got the classic of the Ghetto, which is like him at his best lyrically. Cold. So now I'll go on to like the top queens of the thing, so the top female rappers in the UK scene. Number one, I have to give it to Little Sims. Like, she's been crushing it since like 2015. Probably got like 5 albums now, and like her last project had like songs like Gorilla and Silhouette. Like, I'll definitely say check them out because she's spitting the truth. Like, she's going in. And then number 2, I'll say Annie. Obviously, she's from Southeast. She's more early in the scene, so it's like she's more releasing EPs now. But I feel like she's got Black Girls with Georgia Smith and songs like that, which like they'll touch your soul still. You'll feel them. And then in terms of number 3, it's more of a one to the left. Like, she's called Bet, and like maybe like 2018, 19, 2020, Skepta even shouted at her freestyle, but she's more like the alternative trap kind of wave, and like she's going in cold. So like I definitely got to hail her up. Like, in terms of the last 2, like they did a freestyle together recently, T Zandos and Cristali, both cold, both from South. Like, it's like they've done a Fumes engineer and they've gone in. So yeah, no, definitely check that and yeah, take it in because they're going in cold. But yeah, my last category is the top 5 UK producers of like black music / drill. First place, I gotta give it to Conceal because he's like, I'll call him like the godfather of UK drill. He's produced for 6-7, Quengface, K-Trap, all your kind of like no names, and he's kind of created that sound like in between trap, not quite Chicago drill, but it's like it's a deep sound which will make you think about stuff. And I'll say songs to check out from him are like songs from like LD called Church, or even Take It There from 6-7. But yeah, no, definitely take him in because he's cold. And another drill guy that I'll say to take in is M1 on the beat. He's more of a hard drill player in the game, and he's produced like Way for Digga D and Only You freestyle for Heady One and Drake. So he's definitely a big player in the game. Obviously, Conceal is a bit more seasoned in the game, but M1 on the beat was a new player. Like, he's a young 20s and he's still going on hard. But yeah, I'll say from there, I'll probably go into like more of an Afrobeat swave. Like, you probably know this guy, J5. He's produced for Heady. He's produced his main collaborators, J Huss. So he produced like Must Be for J Huss, which is just a hard banger. Like, it's one of them songs. It's talking about gang shit, but you think it's like a lullaby. Like, you will be 2-step into that song. Like, that's how mad it is. J5, he perfectly encapsulates the Afrobeat sound / like gang sound, but it's perfect mix. And the next guy I'll go on from there is TSB, who is a frequent collaborator with J Huss as well. He produced No Deny, which is probably my favourite J Huss song, but it's hard, innit? And he produced Princess Cuts for Heady One as well. So he can do both, innit? He can do the more like vibesy kind of dance 2-step thing, and he can do like No Deny, which is more of a harsher beat, more of a like this is my spot, I'm number one kind of thing. So definitely check out TSB, like, he's cold. And the last guy I'll say, like, this is a bit of a left shot, but this is more of a jazz producer called Venna. So he's like kind of locked in with Nux, who's probably my favorite artist at the moment. He more does like a jazzy rap kind of flavor. If I'm telling you to like check out EPs from him, I'm saying check out Venology, which came out in 2021. Check out his latest tune with Nux called Misty, which came out on an EP that came out this year called Equinox. But I feel like the other producers I've talked about, they're more like drill, Afrobeats, more like bait kind of genres, but he's more of a like jazzy kind of like leftist artist, and like he'll come with that different vibe. So in terms of songs that I'll say to check out from him, I'll say check out Standard, which is with Nux as well, and check out with Misty, which is Nux as well. They're like frequent collaborators and they go in still. So yeah, definitely check out those 2 tracks. But yeah, anyway, that's like that's me done. I appreciate you for listening in. Hope you have a blessed day. Peace.